Welcome to part 2 of my DCCNext demo board. A couple of things to point out on the board itself. Here I've got my DCC from a track coming into the board. When I plug it in to the track, the green light comes on for the DCC. In here I've got 5 volts DC coming in, and out goes 5 volts to my breakout board to power the breakout board. This is my connection to the laptop. At the moment I've not got it plugged in. I'll keep it unplugged until I set up the servo, and once I've got the servo plugged in, everything else will be done live with the board working. Another thing to point out is the jumper setting. As I'm using servos, I've set the jumper setting servo, the middle one. So I'll put the cover back on, I'll wire up the servo and we'll get started. So, first up is the servo. The orange cable being the signal, red positive, black negative. So it plugs in to the board. The orange facing towards me. I'm also using my relay block. Although it's 4, I'll only be using 1. The one I'll be using is number 2. So the relay block, I need to get the power supply from the board, positive and negative. And the signal will go into the DCCNext port number 16. The reason being port 16, when I first set it up, that's the first port. It's a free for the frog itself. Try and take it up a touch for us. So there we have the initial board set up. So now I can power up the DCCNext, plug it into the computer and set the pic on the DCC board for Mardek as well. Then upload tool, yes, I'm going to go to port 3. That's a DCCNext. I'm going to put in Mardek. Yes, so I'll start to upload the program into Mardek. Takes 2 or 3 seconds to kind of get in, and once it does it, I'll create a shortcut on your desktop as well. A shortcut, yes, and give it a name, so I've got to call this one DCC Next. You can't put a space in, we'll call it board number 1. Start shortcut, yes. And up comes the Mardek. So when we first set up the Mardek, asks us for a board number. You can't name 2 boards the same number. For this one, it's always been number 1. That gives us 2 or 3 defaults. We'll just skip through the defaults as I'm happy using it all. So it gives us the P, A, D, E, I and R. If we do the question mark, it explains what they mean. So I want to select the port number, so we'll press P and we'll go for port number 1, the servo. And now it gives me a chance to program the DCC address for port number 1. For me, it's going to be 50. The only reason being is that's my spare one I've got on my command station. I want to set it as a servo, and then it comes up with more information. Same again, we press the question mark and it gives us 2 or 3 things. So I take the angle down a little touch, I press the minus, and it takes the angle down. And you just see the pointing motor moving ever so slowly. If I press 9, it sets it to the centre, and that's to enable you to install it on the board. If I press minus again, it goes down. If I press C to change it to high end, now I can change the high end up or down. That's self. Also want to set the frog, so press F for the frog, and it asks me how many relays I'm using. For me, I'm using one relay, and that's set to port 16. So if I exit now, enter I should say it, so if I enter now, it saves all the ports and exit, and now you can go back to my command station. So press number 1, and we can see it moving across. Halfway across the movement, it switches the frog priority on the relay, like so. So that's the first port done. Now on to the second port. The second port I'm going to use a Mosfet little board. It's got a ground, goes to ground, it's got a signal, will go to the board. So we'll put that to number 1, number 2 I should say. We'll plug the negative into the negative on the breakout board as well. So I'll set up port number 2, so press C, P for port number 2, and DCC address is going to be 51. I want this to be accessory, and now I've got a value from 0 to 9. If I press 0, it gives me a little help, and there we go. I want to set this one up to use as a pulse to do solenoids. So if I press the single one shot number 5, it gives me a time. We'll do 500 milliseconds, and you want to do it when you press it or when you put it off, or you can do both. So I'm going to press B for both. And enter that, exit, go back to the command program, and now I press number 2. You get the single one shot. You can just see the light firing itself. So that's port number 2 set up. Now to port number 3. I'm going to set up port number 3 now, and the way I set it up is using this. The DCC port comes at number 3, and I've got the LED red one, the long lead going to the positive. The two LEDs are connected together, the long lead and the short lead, and the cathode of the green LED goes to the 0 volts. So, port 3, plug into the board. The short lead is common for the DCC board, and I attach that to the positive of the bus rail. And then take my resistor, plug it in. As it is live, I plug it in there, the LED comes on. The long lead goes in common with the DCCNext port 3, and same again, with a 1K resistor, I attach that to the negative. So, press C, I might set port number 3, and we'll give this one a DC address of 52. It's going to be an accessory. Bring up the 0 again. This time we're just going to do a single steady state. So when I switch it over, the green light will come on. Switch it off, the red light will come on. So I'm going to press number 1 and enter. It saves them all. Press exit. So over to my command station. Press number 3 and it changes. So I'll use this as my lights or my layout. Quite effective. So that takes us to port number 4. So I'm going to set up port number 4. two ways. We'll do it one way and then we'll change it over and do it another way. With the wiring for this one here, the DCC port 4 goes to the long lead and the short lead goes to the 0 of the breakout board. So, over to the Mardek now, press C, P for port, and the port I want is port number 4. AC address of 53, and we want it to be an accessory. Press 0. So this time I want to set it up as a pulse wave modulation, number 7. I want this low value to be 0, and I want the high value to be 180. And now it asks me for the time for this to happen. We do over 2 seconds. For both ways, up and down. Enter. Exit. Now it's set up as a rise and fall. So when I go over to the command station and trigger number 4, it takes 2 seconds to rise up. I switch it back off again, it fades down over 2 seconds. Another thing I can do with wave modulation is an effect of a flicker. So to go to the Mardek, press C, press P for port. I want to go to port 4. And what I want to do this time is modify it, so I'll press M. And that gives me an option there. Bring up 0. And this time I want to go to the flicker effect, 8. We'll go for the low value of 10. And we'll go for a high value of 80. Press enter to store it. Escape. And we go back to the command station. Trigger number 4 again. So trigger number 4. This time it's flickering. And we can go through them all simultaneously and see them working. So, port 1, the servo, port 2, the Mosfet, port 3 is the signal, and port 4 is now the flicker. Well folks, that's it for today. I will be installing the DCCNext on my layout over the next few weeks, and once it's up and running, I'll show you it working in a live scenario run, the demo board itself. Thanks for watching, bye for now.